Maramba Mallikarjuna Swami temple, where the auspicious temple where Jyotirlingas and Shaktipita coexist in this particular temple. After this, after the darshan, a 1 hour long darshan of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, now he is all set for a road show. There is right now, addressing thousands of people who have gathered in Kurnool. Now here what we are learning is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to inaugurate, lay foundation stone and dedicate to the nation projects worth 13,430 crores at around 2:30 p.m. was the time that was given, and after which he was set to address a public gathering. Now that he is reached, where thousands of people have welcomed him in Kurnool, the major development push for the state of Andhra Pradesh that we are seeing right now, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to inaugurate multiple projects. Now, key sectors like industry, power transmission, roads, railways, defense manufacturing, petroleum, natural gas are the sectors where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to inaugurate several projects, including the industrial corridor, to other highway projects, national highways, state highways, infrastructural projects. Projects are being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Today's schedule that we see is early. He arrives at the Sri Sailam temple, offers darshan, and then pay tributes to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj at the Kendra here in Sri Sailam, and then he's landed in Kurnool, where a mega roadshow that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is ongoing with Chandrababu Naidu, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan. A show of strength of the Mahagathbandhan here, the coalition government, the double-engine sarkar that the Chief Minister Nara Chandrababu Naidu had been claiming. So show of strength, as you can see, massive roadshow, thousands of people waving and raising slogans to welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh. Well, as you can see that in some time he will be on the dais where he is set to address this whole gathering, a mega push, a mega statement coming from Prime Minister Narendra Modi after the inauguration and foundation laying ceremony at the mega program in Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh.
All right, these are details that Abdul Bashir is sharing with us of the Prime Minister's visit to Andhra Pradesh today, donning an outfit with Madhubani art is what Abdul was telling us about. It's a crucial message, just important for the Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of elections in the state of Bihar. A series of development projects being launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Of course, these are foundation stones getting laid today. Abdul Bashir continues, in fact, to be with us as far as the infrastructure push in the state of Bihar, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, I beg your pardon, is concerned. Abdul, talk to us about what is in store for the people of Andhra today.
Well, the people of Andhra Pradesh are having major projects worth 13,340 crores, where we can see the foundation stone for the transmission system strengthening Kurnool 3 polling station at an investment of about 2,880 crores is what is being projected. Apart from this, the project includes the construction of 6 765 kilowatt double circuit Kurnool 2 polling station at the Chilkalapuri Peta. And apart from that, these are the renewable energy projects that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to inaugurate. The major projects that we are right now seeing today, where the foundation stone will be laid for Orvakal Industrial Area in Kurnool and Kopparthi Industrial Area in Kadapa, with a total investment of over 4,920 crores. Here, the development will be jointly with the National Industrial Corridor Development and Implementation Trust and Andhra Pradesh Industrial Infrastructure. So both the state and the center will coordinate for this industrial area project in Kurnool and Kadapa is what we are learning. Apart from this, these projects not only about 13,430 crores, but they are also expected to attract 21,000 crore investment and generate approximately 1 lakh jobs is what we are saying.
All right, employment opportunities for the people of Andhra Pradesh is what Abdul is getting us details of via these projects that are getting launched by the Prime Minister. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment, Abdul Bashir, with those details. We go across straight now to my colleague Sakshi Batra of Business Today Television with all the updates of the markets. Sakshi, over to you.
welcome. You are watching Market Closing on our collab show between Business Today and India Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra. It's 3 p.m. and we are here to get you all the market closing action on D Street. But first up, let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate as well as the financial space. Market rally continues as Nifty climbs over 260 points at 25,600 now, reaching a 3-month high, while the Sensex also jumps more than 900 points to 83,500 levels. Gains are supported by earnings optimism and foreign investor flows, with autos, consumer durable stocks also leading in trade. Indian rupee strengthens near 2-month high, rises 40 paise to 87.68 rupees per level of a dollar. Remember, this is supported by RBI intervention, weaker dollar and positive domestic and global cues. It has also surged 73 paise yesterday, marking its biggest intraday gain in 4 months. Bull run in precious metals continues as MCX gold and silver hit record high levels. In New Delhi today, 24-carat gold now trades at 1.3 lakh rupees per 10 grams, while silver nears the 2 lakh rupee per kilogram mark as well, trading at 1.93 lakh rupees per kilogram, fueled by a strong domestic demand, positive global cues and a weak dollar. Nestle India shares jumped 4% following better than expected Q2 results. Revenues have risen by 10%, whereas EBITDA, that's the operating profit, is also up by about 6%. Domestic sales also have grown in double digits, led by strong volume growth. Ola Electric shares have hit 5% upper circuit for the second day in a row. That's amidst launching Ola Shakti residential battery system, expanding beyond the automotive, offering households, farms and businesses on-demand energy solutions. Straight away, let's look at how the markets are trading in the last half an hour of trade. Finally, we are seeing the Diwali festivities and the spirits back into the D Street. Since yesterday till now, you've already seen the Sensex gain about 1,500 points. Look at the Nifty. It's up by over 1%. You can see 25,584, although just slight, sense of some profit taking at the high point of the day as well. This is largely supported by the Nifty Bank today. Over 1% gains for this index too at 57,411 at this point in time. Look at the IT sector. That's also climbed to the day's high point despite all the choppiness that we actually saw in the morning trading action, and that's also moving in tandem. Apart from this, all the sectors, in fact, on the Nifty, they're all up and about in trade, barring just slight profit taking on the PSU banks. The top movers are on your screens. You can look at Nestle, Tata Consumer Products, again from the FMCG basket, that's up and about. Titan again from the consumer space, Kotak Mahindra Bank and Axis Bank among those others that are buoyant in trade at this point in time. On the losing side, however, you do have a far and few between stocks that are still in the lower end today. You have HDFC Life that's actually reacted to the earnings. Zomato is also down by 2.5%. Just now we have actually seen Eternal report its numbers, and the profitability definitely slipping by over 60% on a year-on-year basis, and that's what has led to this reaction on the stock. You have SBI Life, indices Bank and Jio Finance also that are trending tad bit lower in trade. But let's welcome our guest on board. Sharmila Joshi joins in, a market expert. Warm welcome to you, Sharmila. Thank you so much for taking the time out for this, and wish you a very happy and prosperous Diwali right ahead as well. Finally, we are seeing the spirits come back into the D Street. I mean, look at the markets, how cheering they are at this point in time. Finally, after a long haul of consolidation, what's the sense? What's fueling this optimism?
Yes, first of all, happy Diwali to everyone and to you as well. And thank you so much for having me on the show. And yes, I think the resilience that the Indian markets have shown, I think that's possibly been one of the most heartening things to see, because, there seems to be some sort of sense that markets don't want to go down. So you do react to bad news, which has hit this market repeatedly over the last 5 or 6 months. But market is climbing out of that news and it is strengthening. So we haven't seen that great an improvement in numbers yet. Some sectors are showing recovery. But overall, I think, now the pieces are in place, so to speak, because you have seen certain moves the government has made, whether it be in the budget or the fact that interest rates have gotten cut. Now we have a GST-led sort of boost that could, especially for some of the consumption names. But overall, things seem to be getting to be back on a better track, and I hope that we can sort of build on this. Also, there was another very interesting thing that I read last week that said that the difference that has opened between gold prices and Sensex seems to suggest that the Sensex should rally over the next couple of. So, maybe that could well be what this rally in gold could well be what the market sort of required, like, that push that really takes you to sort of a new high. But certainly a lot of indicators seem to suggest that we are now on a sort of a better track because earnings are sort of caught up, and second half for a lot of companies could look better.
Okay, since you did talk about the earnings, we've just now seen Eternal report its numbers, and since there is a large part of retail investors' interest into this, we'll just focus a little bit onto that. That is Zomato's parent company, viewers, Eternal. That's how you will find the stock on the exchanges. The profitability after tax has plunged by 63% on a year-on-year basis, now coming in at 65 odd crore rupees, although the top line, the revenue has jumped by 183% as well. So the dent has been able to see on the bottom line, even though the operating profit has also seen some uptick, but it's the bottom line that has really taken a beating at this point in time as well. And you are seeing a reaction on the stock as well of that. How are you looking at Zomato at this point in time and the kind of earnings that have just come out? Sharmila, did you get a chance to look at it?
Yes, what I'm really seeing is that revenues are sort of strong, but the trouble or the problem seems to be on where the hit has come in the profitability. And this can be explained for a variety of reasons. You do have Blinkit operations, etc., which need to be accounted for, and so on and so forth. But overall, I think that, the way this, again, these new age sector sort of stocks have done over the last couple of months is quite heartening. And I think that people are really looking beyond valuation sort of when they look at a play like Zomato. So I wouldn't say that this is perhaps the best time to buy it because valuations do look expensive. But having said that, I think the kind of revenue growth that you're seeing from the company certainly seems to suggest that they could really build on their base and sort of, grow their market share in coming quarters.
Absolutely. The revenues have really shot up in trade, almost 180% odd or so, but you would actually be able to see also the quick commerce business as well. That's the more important one. Remember, last couple of quarters, the kind of rally that we have seen in Zomato is also largely due to the focus on the quick commerce business, that's the Blinkit business, and how the expansion is planned for this, how the foray in various cities is now, being seen as a key trigger for the expansion for Zomato as well. This time around, the quick commerce business has reported a net order value growth of 137% year-on-year and a 27% sequential growth as well. This has marked the highest growth that we have seen in the last 10 quarters as well. Now, the company has continued its network expansion, adding 272 new stores as well. They've also said that they've recorded highly, healthy new customer growth as well as a net addition of 39 lakh average MTCs also on the company. But Blinkit has also reduced sequential losses as well to 156 crores. This is versus the 162 crore rupees of losses that it had marked out in Q1 as well. Let's talk about this, Sharmila, specifically when we talk about the quick commerce play at this point in time. It is being seen as a much larger play than the original starting off point of Eternal, and that was in the food delivery space. How would you look at the numbers that have come in from quick commerce? What does that really reflect?
I think it's a very fast and growing market that you have when you talk of quick commerce. And, perhaps, what I was when we were talking of new age businesses a little while earlier, I think that's where we don't have sort of a model where we can compare anything, the traditional sort of businesses with. And we are seeing that a lot of shopping has now sort of converted to online, especially for things like this, like for groceries and when you quickly require something, or even dining in, I think has become quite a popular concept, which is also one of the reasons why Eternal has been doing well. And also, let's not forget the fact that at the moment, you really have them active in really only the large cities. But given the fact that there are so many tier 2, tier 3, and even smaller towns that you could expand to, where perhaps a service like Zomato is required more, where you want to dine in and you want to order from nearby restaurants, etc. It's very difficult to really imagine the size of this market could grow to. And perhaps that is exactly what investors are sort of betting on and hoping that they're able to. Because let's not forget that Zomato also has been through sort of a transformation of its own, where it has cut businesses where they were not making money and they've gotten increasingly into
Sure.
businesses where visibility is good. So you have to give them, I think, that time to build those businesses. But definitely, I think the size of the business is very large for quick commerce, whether it comes to, as I said, whether it is groceries, whether it's food, I think almost anything. That's a big sort of market there waiting to be addressed.
Absolutely. 4% down right now at 339. Does this level give you any entry point at this point in time, Sharmila, as well, for those investors who've been waiting for dips on Zomato?
So I think precisely what you could possibly do as a sort of a strategy is to start a small SIP, and if you see further, continue to buy it. Given that numbers were slightly weaker than expected. But honestly, I think if you buy it at this level, then you have to be committed to be in it for at least a couple of years.
Fantastic. Let's actually talk about the new businesses since you alluded to it. Remember, the shares of Ola Electric from the new age spaces is also in focus. They've hit upper circuit, for the second day in a row. It's launched Ola Shakti. That's the new battery energy storage market with its latest innovation. For the first time, diversifying beyond the vehicle space that they have been in. Fully designed on Bharat Cell technology, the system aims to make homes and businesses energy independent. Bhavish Agarwal has said that this is just the beginning of India's clean energy revolution. So let's listen into what he had to say and we'll come back to a discussion on Ola.
Shakti नाम हमने बहुत सोच के रखा है. Shakti, like Shubhi was mentioning in the beginning, it's a Sanskrit word. Every Indian relates to it. It's also अभी नवरात्रे गई है, तो अभी Shakti की हमने पूजा करी है. And this product will enable Shakti or energy for every Indian. Be it in your home, be it in your farm, one product. You can see it's very compact. A single product for power backup, for solar storage, for voltage stabilization, and for localized portability. Farm में लगाना है, बाहर लगाना है, camping लेके जाना है. That is it. One single product. इसके अलग से कोई बैटरी नहीं है, कोई इन्वर्टर अलग नहीं है. It's all contained in one box. Right? So we are very excited about it. And the beauty of this is it builds on our Bharat Cell. So inside this is our own 4680 Bharat Cell from Ola's Gigafactory.
Sharmila, coming back to you, how do you see this new foray by Ola Electric? Do you think it will be able to give Ola Electric some sort of, an expanded view? So far, we've been only looking at it as an EV two-wheeler play where there have been a lot of security, safety concerns. The company has been going through a lot of negative news flows as well. Reacting to that, it's been stabilizing off late over the last 1 month or so. And now these newer expansions coming in, how are you looking at it?
Yes, I'm quite happy that they seem to be sort of finally climbing out of a hole they sort of dug for themselves. Because, very honestly, as you said, almost anything that you could envisage going wrong for them went wrong for them at one point in time. And It is especially sad for me because EV two-wheeler is a business that I'm very positive on. Because I think that, the kind of adaptability that you're seeing in the two-wheeler space in EVs is really, it's quite fantastic. If you especially go to tier 2, tier 3 towns, you see a lot of two-wheeler electric vehicles. And it's unfortunate that they couldn't really be part of that. Now this, again, the product they're talking of really sounds fantastic because again, we are an energy-starved nation because, the minute you move outside the metros, you have, so many issues where continuity of power is concerned and there are so many places which are still deprived of a continuous power supply. So I think this could very nicely fit in that gap. So it waits to be seen, it remains to be seen at what pricing they bring the product as well as how, what kind of acceptance that it gets. But the requirement is there. The market is there, the requirement is there, and they found a nice niche to be part of, to be, sort of market to. And I think that is what the market is cheering. And I really hope that this time they get things right. And that it works for them.
Okay. Viewers, let's also give you a sense of what exactly can you expect over the new Samvat as well on our Business Today television Diwali special series. My colleague Shail Bhatnagar and I spoke exclusively with Mihir Vora of Helios Capital about what to expect this Samvat, as the domestic markets have largely underperformed for now. But this prolonged correction has made valuations somehow more attractive, and what lies ahead for the Indian markets. Listen into that, Chuck.
As Trust Mutual Fund grows both in terms of number of funds launched as also the asset under management, what are the 2 or 3 things that you're looking forward to Samvat 2082 against the backdrop of a completely flat equity table in the last 15 months and a lot of effort that the government has put in to boost economy, sentiment and stocks?
Absolutely. So first of all, hi Shail and Sakshi, wish you and your viewers a very happy Diwali and season's greetings.
Thank you.
The good thing, as you mentioned, is that I always look at the glass as being half full. And the half full part is that we've delivered flat returns for the year, which means that our valuation base, our price base, momentum base has been reset, so to say. So after almost 4 glorious years in the market, if we have to take 1 year as a breather, I think that's fine, I guess, in the longer term scheme of things. So we have a situation where, of course, earnings have grown, though not at very high rates, but at least at high single digits for the Nifty and higher for the mid cap and small cap indices. So there has been a valuation correction. There has been a time correction in the market. So compared to 1 year ago, valuations are not as expensive because of the time correction and 1 year of earnings having accumulated. So that's a good place to start with. If you look at the fundamentals in the macro picture, there are tailwinds mostly from the local side, but there are headwinds from the global side. Global headwinds, we know the tariff negotiations with Trump. We know the overall situation where inflation probably might start rearing its head, and of course the situation in Ukraine, China, etc. continues as is. So I think there is a good chance of the US economy and the Western world slowing down this year, but again, that the policy framework as far as liquidity is concerned, monetary policy is concerned globally, is turning loose. So we have a situation where there will be ample liquidity, there will be enough cutting of interest rates to keep risk assets up globally. So that's a global headwind which might actually turn into a liquidity tailwind for assets like gold, silver and even emerging markets like India. Domestically, I think the government and the RBI are in a, I would say, whatever it takes mode. They very clearly said that whatever global headwind is there, we will take enough and more measures to counter those. And we have seen that in spite of intense pressure from the US, India has stood its ground on negotiations. India has not compromised on its pride or its policy framework. So to that extent, I think the message is going through very clearly to the world that India is a strong country. India is a domestic economy. And while exports are required for higher growth, we are not overly dependent on exports for our overall well-being. So I think the image of India in the last 6 months has gotten reinforced as a strong, independent, democratic country with transparency and institutional frameworks. So I think that's going to, stand us in good stead for the rest of the year, for the very long term also. And I think it's only a question of time before we see FIs turning net buyers, apart from the domestic investors who are anyway massive buyers every month. So I think we are starting with a good time and price correction and a good base to start with, and I'm optimistic as we begin the new year.
Sharmila, coming back to you, of course, when we are talking about the new Samvat, the, kind of expectation from all our investors and viewers would be as to how to generate alpha when there are so many uncertainties that the markets are still faced with. I mean, large part of this year and this fiscal year completely has gone on to just understanding how the policies are changing and how just tweets and statements on an everyday basis can just turn sentiments upside down. How are you advising clients to really move forward with the new Samvat when this entire situation still rises in the background and very much in the present space as well?
So first of all, what I want to say is that I don't know whether it will mean anything, but the thing is that I think that the kind of uncertainties that we've had to deal with in this last 5 or 6 months, we are going to be in a position, unfortunately, where some or the other thing is going to keep happening. even if we do settle the trade talks with US, it could be something else. So I think that I hope that this is more my hope than anything, that market sort of learns to deal with such situations better and to look at really what is happening within your space sort of. Yes, there will be some impact on a larger scale, but not lose sight of what your opportunities are specifically, and not react so negatively to a lot of news. And also, I hope that FIs also sort of get an understanding of these things and turn buyers, because that has been a missing piece in the Indian markets. But very honestly, if you ask me from a specific Indian markets perspective, I just saw a slide of the sectors that had done well, and of course we have capital market, the financial space, the defense space, etc. So I'm now looking at beyond that, what could possibly join the rally and has not performed at all this year. And I think consumption-led names and FMCG names are two sectors which have largely been left out. And GST has been a good push for this. We saw Nestle today at a 52-week high. Because let's not forget, almost I think more than 75, close to 80% of their portfolio gets impacted by GST prices. They will see lower, prices, and they will hopefully be able to sort of push these numbers forward and get better volume growth for all their products. So this could be good news for a Nestle. It is definitely good news for a Britannia and a whole host of stocks like that. So I hope that the FMCG sector plays some sort of catch up. FMCG as well as overall consumption space plays some sort of catch up in the coming months, and capital goods, because I think that will also be key to really propelling our growth forward. So hopefully all the interest rate cuts that we've seen and the banks doing better, you will sort of see that lending cycle sort of return and capacity is getting built, etc. So let's see, but I definitely think that FMCG is one sector that you need to put on your radar.
Absolutely. Now, apart from in fact, since you're talking about this entire consumer space and how this could well be in focus in the new Samvat, we must tell all our viewers that the festive season demand has actually also lifted market sentiment, especially in the jewelry segment as well. Now, what we've noticed is that Tanishq is witnessing strong demand for gold and for natural diamonds despite the high prices as well. And this is what Ajay Chawla, the CEO of jewelry division at Tanishq, in an exclusive conversation with Business Today Television's Astha Chopra has said. Let's listen into that conversation.
What is your trajectory towards growth? What are your expectations at the end of the year?
Mia is growing very well. Even Tanishq is growing very well. I think the festive season has really lifted up sentiment. There was a certain buyer growth dampening in Q2. But with the lifting of the festive season coming in and the fact that gold prices continue to go, people were thinking it might correct, they have not. And now everybody who was a fence sitter has jumped in. So precious jewelry is in for the young, for the old. Gold is in vogue. Natural diamonds are in vogue.
All right, so that's the demand on ground for gold and for natural diamonds in this current festive season, but remains to be seen since Saturday is Dhanteras. Will people again flock back, and will footfalls again surge in the deserted, nearby jewelry stores because of these soaring record high prices of gold and silver? Let's quickly look at how the markets are looking at this point. We just have one more minute to go before we shut shop for the day. It's panned out to be a rather good day. 25,568, almost 1% higher. Towards the end of the session, you do see that some of those gains were also given back a tad bit because we'd gone up at 25,600. So some of that gain has also come back. Now, let me also look at the key winners in terms of the sectors that we've been seeing. Something that Sharmila was also pointing out, it's FMCG. That's among the top movers. You also have the real estate sector that's also moving in tandem as well. You're looking at the banks that are also moving up. Those are the top gainers as far as your top stocks are concerned. You have Nestle, Tata Consumer from the FMCG basket. You also have Titan, we were just talking about, and you heard it from the company spokesperson as well. Then there's Kotak Mahindra Bank, Axis Bank post earnings, and Hindalco from the metal space. That also seems to be shining bright, over 2% of gains for these. But on the downside, Zomato reflecting its earnings on the downside, 3.8% lower. HDFC Life and Shriram Finance as among those top losers in trade right now. 25,566, that's the closing print on the Nifty, 243 points higher in trade. But definitely something to cheer about in trade today. Let's go back to Sharmila. Ask her very quickly as to what do we expect by this Diwali and in the new year as well. So Sharmila, if you could help us understand, what are your targets now as far as the new Samvat is concerned? How much higher can we go from here and how soon can we retest these earlier highs?
I think very soon, because we are just a smidge away. So hopefully before Diwali. And typically on Muhurat trading day, you do see some correction. But as I said, I think, that where I'm expecting markets to go up is between the November to January period. So let's see. Hopefully, we will see sort of some catch up in the Sensex to sort of where, maybe gold will correct a little and Sensex will move up a little. But that is sort of the trajectory that I'm looking at.
Well, what we'll do is we'll also take some viewer questions at this point in time that have come for you. So we'll straight away look at Prerna Roy's question first. Prerna Roy is from Guwahati and says that with this massive gold and silver rally already, I'm now confused. Should I invest in this Diwali in gold or silver, or should I look at somewhere else at these all-time high prices? How would you advise, Sharmila? This is one question that a lot of our viewers have been pondering at, something that they were waiting for, that yes, the cool-off will happen. And that period never came, from 1 lakh to almost 1.3 lakhs for gold and from 1 lakh to almost 2 lakhs for silver. The rally was pretty swift. How would you advise?
So, I don't think you can go wrong with buying gold. Only thing is that if you buy at this level, then you'll have to be really patient to hope to make any money on it. So as I was just saying a little while earlier, I think just now my bet really would be on equities, because I think equities is where the catch-up should happen. But definitely, as an asset class, I think at this point in time, equities do, to my mind, look a little more riskier than, of course, I think gold at one, if you have to buy at this price, again, is not without risk. But having said that, given the geopolitical situation that we are in, I don't see gold correcting like, 20-30%, but markets give up 5-6% very easily. But having said that, now at this, if you ask me today, I'm definitely more bullish on equities than I'm on gold or silver. Silver, I think that there might be a little bit of a bubble, but I'm definitely more bullish on equities than gold. But then, unfortunately, I'm fully invested in equities, so I will always be more bullish on equities than gold.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll take another question that we have at this point in time. This is from Sahil Khan from Dehradun, who says that I have 1 lakh rupees to invest in, which I want to in this Diwali. Now I have selected a few sectors, but I want your advice. One is quick commerce, the other one is FMCG, and the third one is autos. Where do you think this money should go into the new Samvat?
So I will give you the stocks that I like. Within the quick commerce place, not very quick commerce, but I think I like a Nykaa or a Honasa. In autos, I like an Ashok Leyland and I like a Hero Motor. And which was the third place? FMCG. So FMCG, yes. I've already spoken of Nestle. Another stock that you could look at could be Tata Consumer.
Sharmila, great to have you with us as always and to speak to you about the insights on the markets. I wish you a fantastic Diwali ahead. So thank you so much for being with us on this special. And with that, viewers, that's a wrap on the Business Today show. And in case you too have some questions about the stocks, investments in mutual funds, SIPs or gold related queries, please do send them to us on the number that's flashing on your screens. And don't forget to catch the market opening action at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning with Abba Bakaya.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
Living my best life.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a decor brand. Live consciously.
Hello, Moto. Do the Moto.